Hello, everybody.
Hey guys.
We hope you guys are having an awesome day.
Hmm.
Um, Today, we have been married for 6 years, so it is awesome, and we're gonna celebrate that here in a bit. But we wanted to put this video out real quick, and this is part two of our Get to Know Us video.
Part two. Hope you guys like it and enjoy our story.
Mm. We have been together now for 15 years, and in 2017, um, we got married in Vegas. We were actually planning it for 2016, and we had this huge old guest list, and we had a bunch of things that we were going to do here in the area.
Big wedding.
And there were so many things that had changed in that year with her family and my family that we ended up just going to Las Vegas and we got married over there. And it was kind of crazy because we drove to Vegas, we set it up. It was
Like 3 weeks.
3 weeks. It was pretty short notice.
It was very short notice.
It was.
I told my mom and she was like, "How come you didn't tell me earlier?" And I was like, "Sorry."
And it was short notice because I had been procrastinating so long because I couldn't fund a week long getaway for all of us at the time. So I was trying to build up to it. And one of our really, really good friends at the time, we were just talking one day, and he was like, "Why aren't you guys married yet?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, like I just don't have a place to stay when we go get married." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "Well, we've got everything else we need. Like we've got everything we need literally. We just don't have a place to like go and stay for a week so we can like get all this done and get married and stuff." Because we told him we were going to do it in Vegas, and he was like, "I got a timeshare. I can give you a weekend to Grandview." And we're like, "Whoa, really?" He's like, "Yeah, what day do you want?" And I had to start thinking, and I was like, "Oh yeah." So that year, spring break was starting like it was on the 18th was the
And
Saturday.
all of this, he didn't tell me. He just came back and he was like, "So, what do you think about going to Vegas and getting married?" And I was like, I was shocked because the first time he asked me was probably like 2 years. 2 years? Maybe we were engaged for like 2, 3 years. Maybe 2, 3 years we were engaged, yeah. And when he asked me to marry him, I was really shocked. So when he asked me the second time, "What do you think about going to Vegas and getting married?" I was like, "What? Really?"
So, so it happened hastily, not like we had a reason to get married right away, but we had been planning this for so long that we finally had found that everything had come together and we were able to go and do it. So we set it all up really quick, and then we ended up going to Las Vegas and we got married. And it was really awesome. It was right at the beginning of spring break. We went down there with her parents and the kids, and we were going to spend all week with them like a honeymoon, but like with our boys because they're our lives. So that's why we go on vacation is usually with them. But we got down there, and her whole family pretty much showed up. Like
Yeah,
her brother
everybody
was
showed
there,
up.
her sister was there, her
The only
parents, her
person who didn't
cousins,
show
her aunts,
up was
uncles.
my older brother Brian.
But his kids were there,
He
so
was working
it
in
was
Denver, so he didn't
he
send,
couldn't.
but his kids showed up for
Yeah,
him.
he
It was
couldn't take
pretty
off for that
awesome.
weekend. But
My whole family was there. It's pretty awesome.
with her whole family going, I asked my brothers and I gave them the invitations and told them where the wedding was, and they're always down to go and do crazy stuff. So I figured, yeah, they're going to be down. And I wanted my sister there, and I wanted my brothers there, I wanted my parents there, and yeah, none of them showed up. None of my blood relatives showed up to our wedding. Like not my parents, not my brothers, not my cousins, nobody. Um, we had some really good friends that we used to hang out with a while back, and they were the guys that showed up, and we had a pretty good time. And after the wedding, her parents were like, "All right, we're gonna take off," and
I was like,
we
"We got the room so you guys can stay." And my mom and dad were like, "No, it's your honeymoon. We're going back with the boys. See you later."
her
And I
dad
was
had to
like,
get back to work.
"Dad!"
He was working in Corpus Christi, I think.
I think so. It was
He
Corpus
was working in
Christi.
Corpus Christi at the time, and he had drove up and then picked up what he was supposed to pick up as far as like supplies and things that we needed for the wedding, and then he had her mom and Draven,
Draven.
and then they took off, and then we loaded the other two boys and the rest of the stuff, and then we took off, and he spent the weekend down there with us for the wedding, and then as soon as we were done, he drove all the way back to here,
Seriously, as soon as
tossed
the
everybody
wedding was
off, and
over.
then drove all the way back to Corpus Christi, and he was out working again the next day.
Yeah.
So we are glad that they all showed up, and we had a really awesome time. We had a wonderful time there.
It was
We had a
very
lot of friends
nice.
there, and after we got married, we came back to Gallup, and then a year later, for our first anniversary, we actually had a really nice big wedding reception, and that was over here in Gallup at the KC Hall, and that's when all of the family showed up, and it was like a whole nother.
Sort of. Some of the family showed up. That wasn't all of my family. There was still empty
Well,
seats.
I meant like as far as like my family actually showed
Oh
up.
yeah, his
Like,
family showed
my
up. For
family
sure.
family showed up.
My
And
family was there, but not my extended family. Like my cousins and my aunties. Like some of them were there, but not all of them.
and that one we had a pretty good time, huh?
Yeah.
That's when we started working on ballroom dancing, and that's how long we've been working on that. Like we wanted to do a dance for our wedding, our first dance, because up until then we had never danced, and I didn't want to just do one that was already choreographed or one that was we were going to learn real quick to just kind of do. So we decided on a waltz out of all the ones that we were going to pick. We decided on a waltz. So then we picked 4 or 5 different waltz videos, and we picked like the intro that we liked. We picked which sections of the movements that we liked, and we made one. We kind of put together one out of like 4 or 5 different sections of different waltzes, and then we found the music that we wanted to use, and then we tried to do it like that with one song first. But then I remember like once we found, I guess it wasn't even the music; it was the tempo of it. So once we figured out a different song, which is the song we use now, that's the song that we ended up using because it was the perfect like rhythm for the waltz. So we practiced with that song, and now um, if we were to dance that dance with any other music, it works just fine. Or even if you take our videos and you add different music to it, it looks pretty good. So kind of cool. So that's why we're teaching the boys that we don't want them to be the guys at the dances that are just like you know. So they will know the proper ways to express themselves through movement. After that, we got this new place a year ago, last February. So that's like the duration of when we met until now. And we were talking about our YouTube channel earlier. We had the idea to do this Res Life channel for a bit, and afterward, when we got the new place, I started to think more like this is a little different from Res Life, because it's not all raggedy, it's not beat up, it's not. But then it's still the area we live in. It turned into like more modern, like modern res life. So this is still the things that we would deal with on the res that you don't normally deal with in the city, and we still deal with that. So then we really have like 2 lives. Like we go to town and we do town stuff, and we work on vehicles, we work on houses, we do normal things that we would do in town, permits and whatnot. Then we come out here and we have crops, we have animals, we have muddy roads, we've got the garage. We've got a lot of different things out here that we really have to just work on. We're constantly working on our roads. We're constantly working on the garage. We're constantly working on our yard. We're constantly working on the garden, and we are constantly working on different ways to improve the area. And Mama Bear wants a barn, so we're going to start with probably taking the garage down, and it would help a lot with the animals that are here if they need places to go in the winter. And it would also help in the summer too as well, because it gets really hot out here and there's not a whole lot of vegetation. So a lot of times you'll see animals running around here in the summertime with no water, and we kind of get scared like when we drive around them, and we don't want to like make them run off, or we don't want to shoot them because there's not a whole lot of water to begin with. And I think we could fix that with just having like an open trough for all the stray horses, because sometimes the horses will come into the yard, and she and her dad and Draven, they'll have the 5-gallon buckets they have to fill with water, and they just kind of put it in the yard, and they tie all the dogs up, and we bring our dogs in, and it allows the horses to come into our yard and drink the water, and then they go over the hill. So if we had a barn and stuff like that, it'd be a lot easier to maintain the things we need for that. Our boys are Michael, Draven, and Jackson. Michael is our firstborn, and his name is Michael Brandon.
I had such a hard time picking out his name. I was so lost.
And she wanted to do Brandon Jr., but for some reason I just didn't want to. And my name is Brandon Michael Yazzie, so
I think that's why I didn't have a name picked out. I was already like, he's gonna be Brandon Jr. And Brandon, when we had him, he was like, "What? No." So I was like, "Okay, well, he's still gonna have your name. We'll just make it Michael Brandon."
So Michael is Michael Brandon. We call him the Prince or Prince Michael. She calls him Mai or Baby Mai because when
Jackie.
Jackson was a baby, he couldn't say Mike or Michael. He just said Mai. That's Michael's nicknames. And then there's Draven. Draven is our second child. Um, Draven was born a couple years after Michael, and his name is Draven Maddox. And
Again, I already knew what his first name was gonna be. I was like, Brandon, it's up to you to find a middle name.
before she goes on that, she had a different name for Draven first.
Oh, I did.
But we didn't want to be running around in Walmart trying to call our kids and saying, Michael, Jackson, get over here. So we saved Jackson and we decided on Draven.
I
Well,
think
she
I was
picked
already.
Draven.
I already said like Jackson's gonna be our next boy.
It was
and that's
Jackson
how.
Draven is what it was going to be.
Yeah.
And we ended up moving Jackson down the line, and
Yeah.
it was Draven. So she said, "Okay, Draven's his first name. You pick a middle
And
name."
Draven I got from the movie The Crow.
Yes, and Draven sounds awesome.
Draven's a cool name.
So she said, "I'm gonna pick his middle name," and right away I'd be like, "I'm a huge Rockies fan," but when I was watching baseball as I was growing up, like I really liked. Well, before the Rockies hit the scene, I was an Oakland A's fan because the Rockies weren't here yet, but I also watched the Atlanta Braves because they had all the really good players back then, like in 95, 96 era with Fred McGriff, Tom Glavine, Chipper Jones, John Smoltz, Greg Maddux. So when I was in charge of his middle name, I thought, oh
I
man.
was like, well, what do you
Maddox.
like? And he was like, baseball. I was like, well, who's like the MVP? I didn't know really how to explain like who's the best player, who's that guy.
I first thought of the Rockies commercial where the guy has like the cat that's named Galarraga.
I seriously thought it was gonna be like Cargo or Holiday or Blackman. I was like, oh, I don't know. It's up to you though.
So his middle name is Maddox because I'm a huge fan of precision and I'm a huge fan of like what people. I don't even know how to put it. Like Greg Maddux. He's one of the best pitchers ever, and it's not because he threw really hard. It's not because he like had this insane streak of games. It was because when he pitched, he knew exactly what he was doing. And there's always these memes of like, don't let Greg Maddux paint your barn because he will only paint the corners. Like he was so good at what he did that like he's Greg Maddux. He's Greg Maddux. So Draven's name is Draven Maddox. Draven's nicknames are Baby D, D Mad, and D. He's D. There's Baby D. His grandma is
D.
Grandma D, and his auntie, her
auntie.
sister's Auntie D.
D.
So that's how they refer to D or the D's. And he's so attached to his grandma, so it makes perfect sense.
Grandma's baby.
And then that leads to Jackson. When Jackson was born,
I was like, yay, we did have a boy. We already know. Once we found out we were pregnant, or I was pregnant, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be Jackson. I already know. Like, I was.
Jackson.
It doesn't matter. The doctor can say whatever, boy or girl. I already know it's gonna be a boy.
So we named him Jackson, and his name is Jackson, Jaxon, not Jackson like Jack son. Jackson, I don't know if we just knew he was going to be full of charisma and character, but Jackson, his middle name is Rizo, and we just thought Rizo sounded really cool, and it was the name of the character on Ninja Assassin. And the name Rizo just sounded so smooth and so cool that when we put it with Jackson Rizo, that sounds awesome. Unless he's getting in trouble. And then you're like, Jackson Rizo, and then it just sounds like he's a superhero or something. I don't know. But Jackson, he's the guy that changed our whole lives. And he's changed our relationship with each other and with our other boys and with the world. So Jackson is Jackson. And I know he gets away with it a lot, but he usually doesn't do any bad stuff. Like Jackson's Jackson. They're all highly intelligent boys, so I'm really glad that they picked that up as well. I really love that they are smart when they're doing things that require intellect, also doing things that require common sense. So we are very lucky. I am very lucky. I am very lucky. I don't know what I would do without Mama Bear. I don't know what I would do without these boys in my life. That's not a good life to even think about. We also want to tell you guys how we started our channel. So we keep saying that we wanted to start this channel for a bit. Probably like 4 years ago, I wanted to start this channel. So when I actually created a YouTube account and I loaded a video, it was our waltz video, and I thought, yeah, I can vlog stuff, and we'll just call it Res Life. And I would vlog every now and then, or I thought I was vlogging. I would just record stuff and talk about like this is what we do, this is how we do this, and I don't think I ever really caught on. I would just have them in my phone for like a week or two, and I would delete them, and it wasn't enough put together to make like a cool video. And I remember talking to our bro Warren one time, and he was like, "Yeah, the YouTube, man. Like, you guys have all this content. Like, why don't you guys do YouTube?" And I'm thinking, like, I know, man. Like, we've been wanting to start this for a bit, and we just haven't. Like, I just haven't yet. And he was telling me, like, it's not even that hard. Like, this is like this is all like this is all you need to do on YouTube. Like, you already do all this work. Like, and it kind of came back, and I came back and told Pam, like, yeah, Warren was saying we should do all this because this. And she was looking at me like, you're such an idiot, bro. Like, I told you, like, people want to see everything you do. So we started vlogging, and I haven't even got to all the things that we do, but through our vlogs, you'll see that we do quite a bit of stuff. So if you don't know by now, Mama Bear, she is a really, really awesome cook. And everybody, including myself, thinks like this is the most magical stuff that I've ever encountered in my life. And to her,
I'm just cooking.
she's just cooking. And I know the magic ingredient. I know what it is, and it's the love that she has for us. That's why she cooks the way she cooks. And she can cook a lot of things that a lot of people cook, but I think there's this thing in her mind that's like it'll show our boys how they should learn it, so how they should be cooking. So they know now like what spices you add, what spices you don't
Draven
add,
knows,
which
yeah.
spices are easy to overdo, and how to make things come out better. Like
I always tell Draven he's the one out of the boys that are gonna that he's gonna be the one to cook for them.
he's gonna be the one to take care of the family when
Yeah.
we are no longer around.
He's gonna be like,
Javen
Mom,
is the
make this
sensitive
like
one,
this,
and he's the one that cares.
Mom, put this in there, and I remember Mom used to make this for us. So I tell Draven that all the time, just so he can remember it.
So she does cook really good, and she thinks it's just cooking, but to us, it's like
I didn't really take
magnifico.
any classes or anything either. I just
That's the cool
I
thing.
just cook.
That's what I didn't get into was when she bore Michael, out of nowhere, like all these instincts came out that like before she was Pam, like she was this really cute chick that I would like try to hang out with and cruise with or whatever. And as soon as we had Michael, it's like she instinctively knew like how to care for this child and how to like nurture him and cook and make his life comfortable and livable. And as we had more children, it just grew. And I don't I don't think that there were any times where it was too stressful for us or where it was too much for us. And if anything, like we love having three boys. Like I love that so much. And it took so long for that to happen because there was this long process of decompression after getting out of the military. And I thought it was like you get out and boom, you're ready for civilian life. But I didn't realize that it took all of the years after getting out in '05 and going through all the problems that I had went through that led to where I was at in '08 when I had met her. And then from there, starting to learn like compassion and love and feeling like happiness and feeling sorrow and feeling guilt and remorse and feeling everything.
He was seriously a robot, guys.
Yeah, I was. So now our life has progressed into um, every day we are doing things together and we have a lot of fun doing it. And some people will ask, why we're always together, why she goes with me to my jobs, or why this and why that, why she's always driving. Um, we both drive. We've gone through this before. I just usually don't film when she's driving. I don't know. I never knew that that was a problem. And if it's a thing on like why is your wife always going to work with you? Um, what a lot of people don't know is Pam would be what's classified as my caregiver. So as a combat vet, I suffer from PTSD. So a lot of times, it's not even for my safety that she's there. It's
It's for the public safety. Just kidding.
so she's not only like there for driving around and helping me. Like I do so much trying to help her every day because of what she does for me. She is like my manager, and she's like the everything, like the tour manager, the business manager, the job manager. I'm the tool. Like I show up and I do the work. If you point me in the direction and you tell me what needs to be done, it will get done. The problem is like managing time. I will overbook myself. Managing the days, I will definitely overbook myself.
Overwork
I will
yourself.
overwork myself. I will forget to eat. I will work right through. It'll be like you need to eat, and like no, 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 I'm almost done. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. And I'll say I'm almost done for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, and then I'm throwing tools and getting mad and walking around in a circle and looking up, just and I'll eat, and then I'm like, whoa, I should have ate a long time ago. Or I'll be like, oh, I almost lost my cool. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And she's like, you almost lost your cool. Like, bro, you lost your cool like an hour ago. And I know it should be my responsibility to manage that, but it just doesn't work. I've tried it for a lot of years. I've tried a lot of different things. I've tried to drink it all away. I've tried to go to counseling. I went to therapy. I was trying like Ativan and Trileptal. I was on that meds for a while. Like it was so bad that it just got to the point where I just didn't like being around the public, like at all. I wanted to go do work, but I didn't want to work with the public. So that's why a lot of our jobs are we'll meet the people, and then if if she deals with all that, then she's in charge of the prices or whatever. Like I just tell her like do this, do that, whatever. She takes care of that stuff. I will show up and be like, yeah, this is what we could do. This is what it's going to take. This is the cost of it. This is how many hours it's going to be. This is when we can start. And we'll go and do that, and then with her driving around, like if I get off at the job site and we need more tools or we need snacks or the boys need to get picked up or anything, she is available to go and do that. And it's never a problem for me. Like I think a lot of people really hate it when their spouse will hang out at their job or follow them around. Like for me, I kind of need that throughout my day because if I don't, like people don't like it when I'm around and she's not around. It's from the military. Like, I'm gonna do what I do and I'm gonna say what I say. Like, they're more than welcome to, voice their opinion and we'll see how that goes from there. But now I want to spread compassion and I want to spread love through helping and through service. And I've learned that from her because no matter what I've put her through, and there's been quite a bit, no matter what life has thrown to her, like she has become a super strong person. She has become stronger than anybody wants to become. Like nobody wants to go through the things that she goes through. Nobody wants to say like, yeah, I want to go through all this in my life and I want to be a strong person. Um, she's been through a lot of stuff, and whether it was when she was growing up or whether it was when she was becoming an adult, whether it was living a life without having companionship and then finally meeting me and then like she thought she had problems. Like these aren't local problems, these are like I was out there in the world, intaking all this negative energy, and I came back and I just wanted to like reciprocate and put out negative energy, and she showed up and like through all the anger at the world and everything, she just hugged me, and it felt so good that I just wanted to keep being hugged by her. So we're still doing that 15 years later, and she's keeping me from being the bull in the china shop and pointing me in the right direction as far as what do you say that? So the culminations of all the situations that happen are more productive in our lives
Mm.
instead of being negative. So instead of going in and breaking stuff, I use the energy to try to help with whatever I can, whoever I can, whenever I can, and that's how we try to live now. And a lot of people might not like me, but I can't do anything about that, and I'm pretty sure it was my fault. So we hope you guys enjoyed this little section of who we are. It might give you a little more insight into why we do our daily things the way we do them, and why we treat our boys the way we treat them. Um, I don't know. A lot of people have different opinions, and sometimes people say, "Ah, why don't your boys have chores?" Like I don't.
Because I never had chores.
I didn't have chores. I had a job to do. Like a lot of times that comes out to like, um, I think we already think as parents we take care of a lot of that. So like if they need to wash the dishes, like we if she needs help washing the dishes, I'll help her
Yeah.
because that should be our job as parents to like nourish our kids and to feed them. And I know it's our job to teach them responsibility, but I don't think like us making them wash the dishes is teaching them responsibility. I think it would be more like taking care of a dog or being proactive about like a weekly routine for watering crops or a daily routine for like actually doing things that really will help them with compassion and love, like helping their papa or helping their mom. So our boys are only really required to do two things: is pick up after themselves and help their mom. Um, and by helping their mom, that goes into a lot of things like taking care of their brother from like the older to the younger.
Hmm.
So Michael knows what is required for like helping his mom, and Draven knows what's required for helping his mom, and Jackson. Well,
Jackson's Jackson. Jackson's a
Jackson's
baby.
Jackson. Jackson's the baby. This this is who we are, and I'm really glad you guys are all enjoying our channel because we just started this channel as a way to save um, moments in our lives without running out of space for pictures. So this way the boys can look back and remember what it was like when we started, or even tell their kids later on, like, yeah, this is how it was when I was growing up, and I'm sure it's going to be a different time as it was a different time when my parents were growing up, and it's going to be awesome. But we wanted to just document all this throughout the lives of our boys, and I want them to have a stepping stone for anything in their life. So we teach them what we can, and if this turns out to be one of the things where it gives them like a nice stone to step off of when they want to get older and decide to start their own YouTube channels, it'll be a lot easier for them to already um, know the ins and outs of YouTube and already have like a following kind of. So I'm sure if the boys started a YouTube channel, they would have a lot of content, and I'm sure everybody would be interested in it too.
Yes.
So um, thank you guys for watching.
Thanks,
And
guys, for watching. And I'll try to make those recipes for you guys. I know you guys asked me for a recipe.
that is so hard.
It's so hard.
I keep telling Mama Bear when she's making stuff, I'm gonna have to take a measuring cup, and when she's like pouring the baking powder and pouring it in, I'm gonna have to like put the cup there and measure it and then dump it in.
Yeah,
And I'll
really.
write it down, and we'll figure it out somehow. But I like that she cooks like that, and um, the boys are funny. They won't eat if I cook. But what they don't know is that I actually used to cook a lot at my mom's house when I was living there, and I would show my brothers how to cook. I would cook for my brothers when I was growing up. So Draven is doing that right now. He's learning all this to cook. So now the boys like they really don't think I know how to cook. So anytime like I'm trying to tell Mama Bear, I'm gonna give you a break tonight. I'll make dinner. And Jackson says, Dad, you better be making cereal or ramen.
Space pizza.
Space pizza. That's what they call it. The pizzas that are
Frozen
frozen.
pizza.
We'll put them in the oven. So according to Jackson, that's all I'm allowed to make is space pizza, ramen, and cereal.
Corn dogs.
Oh, corn dogs. No, because I blew up the corn dogs the last time.
No.
They all split open. And he said that you're the only one allowed to make the corn dogs now. So I'm just cereal, ramen, and space pizzas. So we'll get those recipes out soon, and we'll start working on more of those videos. And we do apologize that we don't do lives a whole lot because it's not that we just don't want to do lives. We don't really have anything to go live about, and our Wi-Fi here really isn't that good where we live. So in order to do a live, we would have to go like into Gallup, or we would just be doing the live like as we're traveling somewhere in a vehicle. But usually that time is taken up by what I'm researching because
Editing.
I'm doing video editing and I'm doing research for any of the
Whatever
jobs
job.
that we're working on. And
Yeah.
that doesn't just mean like automotive jobs, for housing jobs, for we do a lot of work. So we do like jewelry work, we do sign work, we do work on some pew pews. We can't really say the word because they will demonetize us, but we do a lot of work on a lot of things. And if it's mechanical and if it's man made, I can fix it. So we work on that. But I'm usually busy doing this stuff. That's why she drives a lot, and that's why it's hard for us to even think of a time to do a live. Because when we come back, like the only reason why we were able to do this video now is because there's nobody in the living room. Like, there's nobody here at the house right now. It's just me and Mama Bear. Our boys took off for spring break. We were gonna go take off somewhere and go check out some things, but um, her mom was going back to Albuquerque, and they just wanted to go there.
Hmm.
So um,
So maybe another trip. We'll see.
maybe another trip. Thank you guys again for watching. And
Thanks,
we
guys.
really appreciate the support that we get. We appreciate all the comments we get. We
All the
appreciate the
love.
feedback. And yeah, we appreciate all of that. Like everything. We get a couple of comments that are negative and things like that, but we know as we are putting ourselves out here for everyone to view our content. Um,
There's
I'm,
gonna be
I'm a
somebody.
combat vet, so I know what the freedom of religion is. I know what the freedom of the press is. I know what the freedom of speech is. I know what all these freedoms that everybody have. You're more than welcome to give the feedback. From here forward, we really hope you guys enjoy the rest of what we're going to be able to put out for you content-wise. And as the channel progresses, we will show you more and more because spring is coming up. The crops are going to be out. We're going to try to do a bigger garden this year, and then hopefully we'll start like a greenhouse so we can grow through the winter. And we'll also start on a barn. We got to build a porch for the front yard. I've got a couple of rides I need to fix, and I have my vehicles, and I want to fix my car, but I don't really like need my car when it's fixed. We were just gonna fix it and let Michael drive it around, but I think I need to put an engine in one of my cars because I have the engine pulled out, and then I have another car that we need to change the head gaskets on, so we can keep one here for the boys to learn how to drive in, and I need to fix the other one and probably let my mom use it because her ride has been left and right just giving her problems. This is gonna be it for now, and it was supposed to be a short video, but if you don't know by now, talking is what I do.
Brandon loves to talk.
And this is only like 1/5 of like
Like
what I want to tell you guys. So we've
yeah.
got like, I don't know, 19 more of these story time videos that'll
Yeah,
come out.
really.
So you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'm not sure if you'll be watching this in the morning, noon, or the evening, but whatever time you're watching this, enjoy the rest of your day and have a wonderful rest of your week. And
like always, thanks for all the love and support.
thank you guys very much. And that, when we say that, it's not just something we say. It's we actually say it through every video to remind you guys that we are very appreciative of the love and the support that you guys give us. And that's the only way we can really say it is like all the good comments, all the support, all the kind words, all the encouraging words, all of the prayers offered, all the blessings offered. It's comes into us as love and support. So we really do appreciate that, and we thank you guys greatly for all the love and the support that you guys have been showing us through this YouTube community as we are new to it. This is who we are. We will have merch soon. We keep getting asked for merch, but when we started this YouTube channel, we didn't even think it was going to take off the way it did. So we will have merch coming soon. We are working on designs because that's what I do, and we will have some shirts and some hoodies and stuff soon.
Yeah.
We want everybody wearing the res.
Yeah, really, we do.
All the reses, all the reservations, not just ours.
So keep watching, guys.
And
this is only the beginning.
Yes, and we do appreciate you guys spreading the word too. We do appreciate you guys telling your friends and your family. So that is us. That is who we are. There will be more videos about certain things in our lives that we will elaborate on more. And if there are any questions that you guys have about anything that we had talked about, just leave it in the comments and let us know. And I'm sure we will get back to them, and we'll do this again. So there'll be another video. There's different stories. There's a story of Jackson and Pam, and that's a really long story. And that one gets really hard for me to tell because that strikes me on how close I came to just trying to do this all by myself, and it hurts a lot to think about that. But there's also a lot of things that come through here where defending our family is number one priority, and I know a lot of people seem to think like we are awesome. She's the awesome one. I'm working on it. I am just now starting to realize the value of life and love and laughter and family. It took a long time to learn all that. So I am a fierce defender of my family, and there are quite a few stories that go down that road too, and I'm sure you guys will love those. They're kind of crazy, and there are just a lot of different things that we'll get to throughout. But we just wanted to do this quick video just to kind of give an overview of who we were and what we do. All right, you guys,
Well, that's it.
that's going to be it for this section of Get to Know Us. There are going to be more videos coming out soon, and we're just going to elaborate a little more and go down the storylines of some of the things that we were bringing up in this video. But we definitely hope you guys enjoyed it, and we are certainly glad that you guys are watching this and enjoying our channel.
See you guys later. Take care. Peace.